Road Trip with Huell Hauser is made possible by the Automobile Club of Southern California and the AAA Travel Agency. We've been meeting members' travel, automotive, insurance, and financial needs since 1900. Over 4.5 million members turn to us for peace of mind and quality service. The Auto Club, we're always with you.
Well, hello everybody, I'm Huell Hauser, and here we are on a beautiful spring morning up in Santa Barbara County. Now we're getting ready to spend the day over there on State Highway 154, which has been designated an official scenic highway, and it cuts through some of the most beautiful country in California. Now I've been up here before, but it seems like I've always been in such a rush I haven't had time to stop and enjoy some of the sights along the way. Today, we're going to take the time to stop and enjoy what's up and down this beautiful highway, including this magnificent arch bridge, which is one of the engineering marvels of California transportation. We're going to be heading down that bridge. We're going to go up this little two-lane road, go over the bridge, and begin our journey. And if this sounds like it might be fun to you, well, you're invited to come on along with us as we head out on our road trip. It is a beautiful highway, and we'd been given a beautiful day for our adventure. You know, there's so much to see in this part of Santa Barbara County, but I knew one place we had to visit. You can see it just for a few seconds from the road as you're driving by. There it is over there, Lake Cachuma. It looks so nice, I'd been wanting to check it out for years, and this would be my opportunity. Okay, we have arrived, and here to greet us is the head man himself. Introduce yourself.
My name is Neil Taylor, and I'm Naturalist and Information Officer for Santa Barbara County Parks. Welcome to Cachuma Lake.
And you love this lake. We have heard already that you are Mr. Cachuma Lake.
Well, I don't really believe that, but it's a place that I grew up in, and I absolutely love this place. And I love more than anything else to share it with people.
Well, I tell you what you're sharing right over your shoulder right here is this oak tree. This is about as pretty an oak tree as I think I have ever seen.
Isn't this beautiful?
Out here.
Now, this oak tree is the, just a second, I got to make sure I get it right. Yeah, it is the Quercus lobata, lobe-leafed valley oak. And these are the oldest of the oaks that we have in here. Magnificent trees, lose their leaves each year, produce a very large acorn, very sought-after acorn by the Native Americans that lived here.
How old is this tree right here?
Oh, we would estimate 750 years old.
Kidding.
You bet.
And look out here at this one. In fact, the whole park is full of oak trees.
That's right. It's loaded with valley oaks, and also the darker green trees that we see off here in the distance are the Quercus agrifolia. Quercus, even got me mixed up.
Easy for you to say.
That's right. Quercus agrifolia, or coastal live oak.
Okay, we've gotten our tree lecture out of the way. Now let's talk a little bit about this neat little, I guess this looks like a ranch house, a farmhouse, because when we drove up, I commented that this looks like a historic building itself.
It really is. And this is what this is, was the Lazy RG Ranch House. Was owned by the Dwight Murphy family, and they tell us that this is where the Palomino horse was developed as a breed of horses, right here on this ranch.
Back in the...
Oh, the late early 1930s, late 1920s.
Really? The Palomino horse was developed in Santa Barbara County?
That's what we believe, and that's what we've been told.
Wow.
So it's kind of neat. So this was our park headquarters, and eventually we made it into a nature center, which is what it is today.
So we first need to start the tour by going in the nature center.
Yeah, but before we walk through the front door, I got to warn you. Just inside the door, we have Bruno the bear that meets everybody, and you got to make sure you say hello to Bruno, because if you don't, he gets a little upset.
All right.
So come on into our nature center.
Hello, Bruno.
Hey, we're glad you said hello to this guy, because he gets a little upset if we don't say hello, but he's typical of the bear that we have around here.
So he's a local bear?
Yeah, he's a local bear. We find him around here, but we don't see him here in the park, so they're not a real problem with us. We do see him on the north side of the lake occasionally.
Now, I love the way you've got this place set up. Here's your opening exhibit here, and the sign says, "Please touch."
That's the important thing about a nature center. This is really child-friendly. We put about 6,000 school kids through here each year, and they come in and they explore.
Look,
it's a touch and
touching.
feeling.
Everybody's touching. And let's see what we've got to touch here. We've got a squirrel to touch. We've got some antlers to touch. We've got feathers to touch. What is this right here?
That's a skull of a deer that came from our local area here. And kids always like to, they think that that's great.
And what is this?
That is one of the most interesting plants that we have, and it was certainly used by Native Americans. This is the amole plant, or wild soap plant. For the root of this is, you can take it out and get your body wet and rub it on, it makes a soap. Break open the bulb, tap off the soft center core, and put that in your hair. It makes a great shampoo. You know what you can do with this? You can put this in a fireplace and you can cook it and you can eat it.
Wow,
now,
look at this.
Notice how I said you could eat it? I've tried it. You can have my share.
So it's got its own distinct flavor.
You got that right. And another thing about this thing is kind of neat because it makes two different types of brushes. I'm going to reach over here to these young ladies over here and pick up this. The fibers of this plant were used as brushes, and this was used by Native Americans to brush their hair with. The longer fibers of this plant, by the way, was used to make a whisk broom out of to sweep out their tule huts. This plant catches fish as well. They would take the bulb, rub it in the water above where they've driven sticks in the stream bank about 2 inches apart, and the fibers of the plant would enter the water, get stuck on the fish's gills. Fish then couldn't separate the oxygen from the water, so the fish would rise to the surface, and the current of the stream would carry them downstream and line them up on the stick.
Now, are these still found here in the park?
All over our South Coast area here, all throughout Oak Woodlands.
And they're called a what?
An amole, A-M-O-L-E, or wild. It's a great word to use in crossword puzzles. The wild soap plant.
Ladies, are you all having fun touching everything? Have you touched everything on the whole table?
Almost.
Good. Okay, keep going. You got to touch everything before you can leave.
We should point this out while we're right here. The neat thing about our mountain range up here, this was all once below the floor of the ocean. And we know that by what we call the pages of prehistory. That is, if we get in there and examine the layers of our earth, we find all kinds of things like this, which is an indication that that was once below the floor of the ocean. In fact, near the ridge of our hill up here, there was 2 skeletons found of 26-million-year-old whales.
Really?
Near
right
the ridge,
here?
right up here on top of the Santa Ynez mountain range.
All right, let's take a quick look.
Okay.
We'll leave the girls at the touch table, and we'll head back in here.
Now, you want to go into the room here on our left first.
Oh, yeah, look at this.
This is kind of a neat room. This is one that kids like a lot.
Now, are these all local
Everything
animals?
in here is local. This is a young mountain lion that was hit on the highway out here, and she weighs about 60 pounds, and they get up to 140 pounds in here.
So she was hit on the highway. That's how you got this.
That's right.
Do they come down out of the hills?
Oh, you bet. You bet. Remember, they've been here a lot longer than we've been around. So all of these animals, by the way, were taken and given to us by fish and game people to use as educational materials. We don't go out and intentionally shoot these out. Oh, there's the campsite robber. That's the campsite robber.
The raccoon.
The raccoon. And the little guy down here below is a guy that's seldom seen, and that's a ring-tailed cat. Nocturnal animal. And, and over here on this side, we have
this is a
coyote. We have a coastal mule deer fawn. We have a rattlesnake. And
Lots of rattlesnakes around here?
There's a few rattlesnakes in here. And this little guy over here in the corner is, of course, our state bird, the California quail.
And look at this rattlesnake skin here.
And that guy came from the local area here.
Really?
And we have one that you see mounted in the case there.
Yeah, I'm happy to see him in the case.
You're glad he's in there. So am I, really.
What is
Kate.
this right here?
That's a badger. Now, we find badgers throughout the valley here, and they dig quite large holes and very aggressive animals. And, of course, then the gray fox, which is right there, which is a gray fox, acorn woodpecker, and you see that red head that he has?
Look at this. This is great. Look at this little... Oh, he does have a red head.
You know what that's from, don't you?
What?
You pound your head against one of these oak trees all day long. See what color your head would be.
All right, let's go in the next room in here.
Okay. Oh, hey, we can't miss one thing. You got to take a look at our fish that we have in the lake.
Oh, look.
Isn't that a beautiful rainbow trout?
Look at him.
And that tank is a refrigerated tank, and it represents very, very cold water that we have. The temperature of that tank is about 54 degrees, and that's when they're most active, and we catch a lot of big fish out here. Biggest rainbow trout to come out of the lake's 14.5 pounds.
Really?
And down below, largemouth bass.
Oh, look at our bass down here. This is great.
See, he's an old grump boy. Man, when something comes into his area, does he hit it hard? So he says, this is where I live.
You've got a lot of fish, a lot of fishermen.
You bet. Many of the
Oh,
people,
wait a minute. Look in here.
we got a guy in here who's trying to fly. Look at that. His wingspan is not quite the wingspan of the osprey, and kids love this, to compare their wingspan with other birds.
Now, what is this bird out here?
That is the bald eagle that we have here in the wintertime.
Yeah, go up and do that some more. I like to see how wide your wings go there. So
Hey, well, listen.
He's about as big as a what now?
He's not quite an osprey and bigger than a red-tailed hawk. Why don't we do this? Let me grab a hold of your mic and let you get up there so that you're able to see. But put your nose right in the center there. Yep. Oh, look at that. You are bigger than a turkey vulture and not quite as big as a golden eagle. Okay?
This is very interesting, and you know the kids like this.
Kids love this. We had Larry Bird's wingspan up here, but it didn't fit, so we took it out. From that dot to the one on the far side is an incredible bird that we have that lives in our Santa Barbara backcountry behind the lake, and that is the California condor. And if you look right over here, you'll see the picture of this magnificent, great old bird.
The condor is this big?
That's the size of its body in actual size. If we had that bird sitting next to us, that's the size that bird would be.
So the tip of, here, you stand over here. That's the tip of one wing.
Right here.
To here is the size of the condor wingspan.
That's right.
That is unbelievable.
And they fly like turkeys, and they lay rocks on the edge of the cliff. Rocks. They lay eggs similar to this one. Right.
So this is a mock-up
of
a condor egg right here.
That's right.
Are they this hard in real life? No.
They're not that heavy, no, but they are that size and that shape.
Well, we've gotten diverted over here. What's happening over here?
Well, I'm fishy, but pleasure to meet you, sir. I watch your show all the time.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna smell like fish the rest of the day. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, look at these fish. Let's hold them up so we can see them.
Red ear perch and a smallmouth bass.
Wow, look at the size. Can I hold this one?
Sure.
How do we hold this one up?
Well, here, just hold it by the lip.
Look at that.
It won't hurt you.
You all caught these things today?
Just came in half hour ago off the boat.
Wow. So
and
now, are you all regulars out here on the lake?
We've been coming here for 25 years.
You're kidding.
We've been coming here for 25
usually
years.
over Easter week, and this year got messed up a little bit, so we're here this week.
Why do you keep coming back?
We love it here. It's our place. This is the place we'd like to live here.
Really?
In a tent.
No, not in a tent.
He'd like to live in a fishing boat.
Yes, he would.
I would live in a fishing boat.
Is this your son here?
No, this is my nephew.
Ah, Huell Hauser.
Kevin.
Nice to meet you, Kevin. And who's this?
This is
my
Krista.
daughter. Krista.
Nice to meet you. Everybody has a good time here, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Absolutely.
what are you going to do with these fish?
We're going to eat them.
Tonight.
Uh-huh.
So the deal is he has to clean them.
He cleans them and I'll cook them.
Yeah.
And you cook them.
I'll cook them.
Let's hold those things up again. Look at the size of these fish.
They're great red ear, and that's the best eating fish we have. Now, this is a smallmouth bass.
Look at these, Troy. Look, let's get a nice tight
But
shot
there's
because
a
you worked
colorful
hard
one,
for this.
That's a colorful one.
These fish are really great fish to catch too. They're a lot of fun fighting, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
Particularly on light tackle.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But they're the best
we were
eating
using-
fish we have in the lake too.
Well, let's get a shot of the family all standing here together with the
Want me to
fish.
put these down, or
No,
hold
no,
them?
that's the picture right there with the fish in front. What
it up,
family
Dave.
is this?
The Ambler family. We're from Rancho Cucamonga.
Oh, good enough. There's a great shot.
Don't get your finger all the way in there because those things will eat your finger clean off. That's how I lost this one.
I think we've been hearing that joke for
you've
years.
Yeah, yeah.
He's been telling the same joke.
Yeah, every year.
Okay, on the way to the lake, Neil brought us by here to get, what'd you call these things?
I call them the best hamburger in Santa Barbara County. These are great.
I tell you what, this feels like it's about 5 pounds.
I'm an expert on when it comes to weight, as you've been able to see.
So you eat here all the time.
Do I ever? Okay?
You have your own little restaurant here, little concession
This
stand
is
here.
Lakeside Cafe, and we have a tackle shop, boat rentals.
So we got
which is here.
tackle. How you doing? Where's all your business today?
They're out fishing.
Yeah, I guess they are, aren't they?
You bet.
What time do you open up in the morning?
Sunrise.
Really?
Sunrise to sunset every day.
Now, it's kind of quiet here today because it's during the week. Does it get crazy around here on the weekends and during the dead of summer?
I wouldn't say crazy, but it does get pretty busy on the weekends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weekdays are always real nice out here.
Nice and quiet.
Yeah.
All right, that's what we like. And look at this. Here's our first shot at the water.
We're on our way down.
We're
okay?
actually on the lake.
Yep, you bet. Dang, with all this food we're taking out, the boat's apt to sink.
We're on the lake.
Finally!
Finally, and a beautiful lake it is. This is a man-made lake.
This is a man-made lake. It was built back in 1950, finished in 1953, and filled to capacity April 12, 1958, forming the lake 7.5 miles long and 42 miles of shoreline.
This is a big lake.
This is a big lake, sits at an elevation of 750 feet above sea level, and it was built blocking the Santa Ynez River. And where this lake is today, there were 7 Chumash Indian village sites here.
Wow. The setting with
Isn't
the
this-
mountains and the green, you don't see any development around here. It's a natural looking area.
Yeah, it really is. The north shore of our lake is really a protected area. There's no landing. This is where we have the wildlife that we have on the north shore of the lake. And when we go out on tours on our 48-foot tour boat, we then see wildlife along the edge of the bank. And Huel, remember I mentioned the California condors?
Yeah.
If you look up on that ridge way up in front of us here, the San Rafael's, that sharp point up there that looks like a profile of a nose,
Uh-huh.
right up here in front of us.
Yeah.
Behind that, that's Cachuma Peak. Behind that is Lions Canyon, and that's where we have 14 California condors that fly free today.
Boy, this is spectacular.
A beautiful lake.
Never been on this lake before in my life.
We're going to pick up the speed as we head further across the lake. In a little while, we'll set off and to the west of us, we'll see Bradbury Dam. But this river that forms this is the Santa Ynez. It begins at a place called Divide Peak behind the little town of Carpinteria
Uh-huh.
and flows into the ocean at a place called Lompoc or Surf.
Now, do you have jet skis out here? Do you have...
No jet skis or water skiing, no body contact with the lake. This is drinking water for the cities of Santa Barbara, Goleta, Montecito, Summerlin, Carpinteria, Santa Ynez, Solvang, Buellton, and Lompoc.
So this is a big reservoir.
This is a big reservoir.
We can't go swimming.
No, sir. You can't swim in our lake.
Just fish.
That's right. We tell people in the summertime the reason they can't swim is because of the alligators in the lake. That keeps a lot of people out.
Now, where are we now and why have we slowed down?
Along this bank in here, we often see wildlife along this ridge up here. We see a lot of deer in here, and this is Cachuma Bay. This is the second largest bay that we have here in the park. And as we approach this point that we're coming to up here in front of us, we can see Indian paintbrush on the edge of the bank up here. The bright red flower that we have right over here on the edge of the bank.
Indian paintbrush.
Yeah, it's one of the many wildflowers that we have in here. And you know,
Look at this. Now, what is this?
That's lichen. Lichen, and over here the ferns that we have, that's maidenhair fern that is wild. And we have monkey flower up here. We have some poison oak, and of course we have these magnificent trees. And if you look at the formation, oh, there's a great flower over here. That is the purple blossom you see up there on the bank. See those small purple blossoms?
See all these ferns,
okay, now
too.
Those are fiesta flower, and that's the plant that a French botanist patented the material on the north side, became a multi-billionaire, for he patented the material that we call Velcro today. All he did was duplicate what we find on that plant.
Velcro?
That's right.
You mean the stuff that sticks?
Sticks together. If we were over there and picked that plant, I could lay it on your shirt and it'd stick to your shirt very, very easily.
Boy, this is just...
It's beautiful.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we have stopped here in front of these beautiful cliffs. We're finishing up on
That good hamburger.
the world's greatest hamburgers, and they are good.
Aren't they great? They really are.
This place is unbelievable.
You know, people that travel 154 very seldom take time out to look what's in their own backyard. And what we have here is a multifaceted diamond. The only thing is, we have not really learned as people learn to look. We see things, but we don't take time out to look.
Yeah.
And we invite people here to take time out to look, not only with their eye, but to really see things with their hearts. And that's what this kind of environment is all about.
Boy, I tell you, I am as guilty as anybody. I've told you all day today how many times I've been up and down this highway.
Sure.
You see little bits of the lake off in the distance, but
bet.
until you pull off the road and
right.
spend just a few hours like we have today,
And
do you
look-
begin to really appreciate what you got here.
True. The campground is beautiful. We have a playgrounds, we have a family fun center, we have swimming pools because people can't swim in the lake. We have an all-purpose general store, service station, a snack bar where we've got these hamburgers, and a wonderful marina that operates for boat rentals, and people can come up and go out. And we've even had people come out here and fish and not even put a hook on their line, just to get away from the phone, just to enjoy the setting that they're in.
Well, I'll tell you what, on top of everything else, there's a ranger here, and we've spent the morning with him, who loves this place.
You bet I do.
Thank you for sharing it with all of us.
And thank you for coming to Cachuma Lake.
And thanks for the burger, too.
Not
I've
bad,
already
Kenny.
finished mine.
And I'm just getting started on mine. Of course, I do most of the talking out here. That's the reason.
Okay, we have left Lake Cachuma and we have doubled back a couple of miles and gotten off on this little side road. I think it's called Stagecoach Road, because we're coming to a very historic place for lunch. This place has been around for well over 100 years. It's very popular with locals. And it's just kind of tucked away here off on the side. It's a neat little place. Now, I've been here before. This is very historic, very old-timey, very laid back, and here are two laid back people right here. Hi, how you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Now, where are you all from?
Thousand Oaks.
And what are you doing here?
Playing hooky.
From what?
Well, I just finished tax season. I'm a tax accountant.
Uh-huh.
I built houses.
So
So we took the holiday and went to Solvang.
I gotcha, and you're on your way back.
I'd have
Back
a buffalo
to the real
burger.
world.
So you came here for a buffalo burger?
Yes.
Have you eaten here before?
Yes,
On the weekends or during the week?
both.
Because I've been here on the weekends when this place is hopping.
Mobbed. Everything from Rolls Royces to motorcycles.
Absolutely, and during the summertime they have live music out here.
Sunday afternoon.
Plenty of liquid refreshment.
Lots of liquid refreshment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And good food.
Yes,
Oh,
always
food's
good
excellent.
So this is really kind of unusual to see it this quiet and this peaceful.
Mm-hmm. Very definitely. Very peaceful and nice.
Well, you all can just stay right there and continue playing your hooky.
Thank
Nice
you.
to have
Nice
met
to have
you.
met you.
Thank you.
Nice to have met you. And our tour continues down here. Come on over here because you're the manager of this place. Your name is?
John Locke.
And we didn't really go into the history very much, but this originally was a stagecoach stop.
Yes, it was, from 1886.
And when people come here, what kinds of questions do they ask you about the old place?
Well, the first question is always, how old is it? Was it really a stagecoach stop, or is that, just part of lore? But it really was a stagecoach stop all the way up until 1901, I believe.
Now, is this all original? Because look at this. This is very rustic here.
Okay. Actually, this part right here was added on. That is original.
This
and where
the
that fireplace,
second story here. This is the.
That's right. Where that fireplace is on this side was the front door at one time.
Uh-huh.
The room on the other side there is original, and then the back room where the kitchen is original.
Boy, this is great. I mean, look at all of this. This is the appeal of the place, isn't it?
Yes. This is our little Charlie Brown house.
What do you mean, Charlie Brown?
Well, the owner built that for kids to play in. It's a little house. There's a little entrance around the other side there.
And look at this. It's got moss on the ceiling. Oh, it's like a little kid's playhouse.
Exactly. Yeah. Something for the kids to do while the parents are enjoying
Look
a glass
at this.
of wine.
Look at this. Get inside here like this. This is great.
There's a light switch on right by your hand there.
Oh, there is a light. Oh, it's got a light in here. This is great. I'd never seen this before. And look at these wonderful big windows. The place has definitely got atmosphere.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
All right, now I've been inside before. Can we take a quick look?
Sure. Let's go.
Where all your lunch crowd?
Well, it's
These ladies have been here. How long have they been sitting here?
a couple of days.
Hours. You've taken the day off?
We don't work.
Oh, they don't work. This is great. Oh, look at this little place. Now, is this
Okay, this
original too?
No, this is not original. It was added on, but this is where the roadhouse or the road gang people that built the highway over here.
Uh-huh.
That's where they bunked down at the end of their day.
Oh.
And that went back to where the office is now, but it's a little gift shop now. But they actually spent the night in there and then went back up and worked on the road.
And this little place,
That is the original. That's part of the original.
So this stuff is over 100 years old.
Yes, it is. 116 years old.
Okay, John, we're inside. This is the old hearth here, the old wooden ceiling. I guess you've got a room out here, a room back here. With the wonderful, look at this. This is great. You don't miss a trick, do you?
That's right, yeah. We use everything.
Yeah, this is great. And here's my favorite room back here. It's kind of dark back here, but these wonderful windows here looking out at the scenery. This has got to be the favorite table right there.
That's the favorite table. This is the second favorite. People like to be in front of the fire when it's chilly. 'Cause it does get cold here in the wintertime.
And what kind of food do you specialize in?
We specialize in wild game.
What do you mean by wild game?
Venison, elk. We do wild boar sometimes. We make our own venison sausage, which is very special. We serve that
that's
for
what she was
breakfast
talking about.
and lunch. And we've even served black bear on occasion.
Really?
Yes, it's totally legal. It's raised for food.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a gamey place here.
You got it.
Well, I tell you what, originally we were planning on eating here, but we ate a huge hamburger out on the lake.
Well, I'll make you a buffalo burger. You can take it home with you.
So we'll take a buffalo burger to go.
Sounds good.
And maybe we'll eat it during the afternoon.
Okay, good.
Your name again?
John.
Thank
Locke.
you very much, John. And this is a wonderful place to visit, the Cold Spring Tavern,
That's right.
which has been here as a stagecoach stop since 1886. And I'm telling you, it looks it, it feels it. This is the real thing. Less than a quarter of a mile from the tavern, Stagecoach Road goes right under Cold Spring Bridge, which is one of the largest arch-span bridges in the entire United States. 700 feet long and 400 feet above the canyon floor, it's a Caltrans engineering masterpiece. And this is one of the few places you can actually see it. It's impressive looking up at it. Now this is the view most of us have of the bridge from Highway 154 itself. And it's too bad you can't appreciate its engineering or its beauty when you're actually driving on it. The scenery was pretty though, and our next stop was just a few miles away. Okay, now we are turning off of Highway 154 and heading toward Santa Ynez on Highway 246. Santa Ynez is just right off 154. Well, here we are in our first town. We have pulled off Highway 154 onto Highway 246, and we're standing in the middle of downtown Santa Ynez. Our tour guide is John Crockett, who's the curator of the Santa Ynez Historical Society Museum. John, you've got us started here in front of one of the oldest buildings in town.
Yeah, this is one of the old false front buildings. These are some of the original buildings of the town. You can see they had the old false front.
What do you mean false front?
Well, you can see that there's no building up there. In the old days, they used to build the buildings with a false front, and sometimes there wouldn't even be a backing. So if the merchandise didn't sell or the business went under, there wouldn't be a whole lot of investment. You can see the pillars up on the top.
Now, how old is this building?
Well, the town was founded in 1882, and so we figure it's around the 1880s when these buildings were built.
So all of these
are
original buildings.
Right.
Because you know, it almost looks
soft drinks. We're still advertising cigars here.
Look at that on the side of the building. Soft drinks, cigars, tobacco, and notions. That's great.
Yeah.
You know, it almost looks like a movie set.
Well, the town has a moratorium where they have to build with the old false fronts so that the town keeps its western atmosphere. You have to build with the old false fronts.
So this would be new. The post office is new. The Santa Cota Market is new.
Relatively new.
But all of these buildings look old.
Right. They're to make them look like the old western buildings.
Now see, only in Santa Ynez could you stop right in the middle of the street. Come here a minute and talk to us. We're taking a tour of Santa Ynez. Do you live around here?
I live in Santa Barbara.
Well, what are you doing in Santa Ynez?
I'm delivering luggage. Did you get your luggage?
Luggage from where?
From the airport.
Oh, okay. So somebody left their luggage, you're bringing it up here.
That's a kind way of putting it.
Oh.
they didn't come in with it.
Oh, okay, okay. So are you having a good day up here?
Having a great day. I love it up here.
Because this is kind of out in the country compared to Santa Barbara, isn't
it?
Oh,
you know it. This is like way out there. This is a one-horse town still.
Yeah. Well, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, sir. Love your program.
See, look at this. We're just stopped right in the middle.
Nobody minds. Nobody minds.
Wow, this is great. Was this a farming town, a ranching town?
This town was built on hopes that the railroad would come through. This was a town that had many bars. The cowboys used to come here and drink and have a good time. As you'll see, we have a jail which is located at the museum, which housed a few of them that had too much fun.
Well, now we hadn't seen the museum yet, but we're going to go.
We're going to go there, that's right.
What is this right here?
This is the horseshoe walk. These are different horseshoes that were donated and given to the town. Some of them are famous shoes, some of them are just regular shoes. It's our horseshoe walk. And we got the Red Barn, which is one of our local restaurants.
And look at this little place over here.
The Feed and Grill.
Now that's kind of a new little yuppie restaurant.
That's more modern. And then the old mill back here, this is where people get their feed. This is our feed store.
So
and this is the location of what was the College Hotel at one time.
So there's still a lot of, oh boy, look at this shot down here. Isn't this nice? This is still kind of the way it was.
Not much has changed. Even in the last 20 years, things have grown, but not like they have in other towns.
Yeah.
If you look around, the things are pretty.
Howdy, how you doing?
You interviewed me when you first started in Tarzana, California.
And now what are you doing up here?
Escape the gangbangers of L.A. Basically gardening and making wine and the same stuff I did there, but only a little larger scale.
See, people are moving up here. Nice to see you again. People are moving up here.
Yeah. Well, we're a short distance from Los Angeles. We're out in the country. Look at the weather.
Yeah.
I mean, the weather sells it on itself.
Yeah.
You know, you can't beat this.
What do people do when they come into town?
Well, usually they'll come pick up their mail, maybe pick up some groceries.
No, but I mean as a tourist, what is there for me to do?
Well, all through the valley here, there's lots to see. We have the vineyards. We've got the Historical Society here, where there's other museums throughout the valley.
Lake Cachuma, because that's where we spent the whole morning.
That's right. Neil Taylor and Lake Cachuma.
That's who we were with.
Neil's a great guy. He's one of the best.
Only problem with Neil is we just can't get him to come out of his shell.
Yeah, I can see where that.
Hey, how you doing? Here's the FedEx lady. How you doing? Tell us about Santa Ynez.
Oh, I am the Santa Ynez, queen. I know it all, yeah. I've been driving out here for 4 years.
Really? It's a beautiful place.
It's paradise.
We're taking a road trip on Highway 154, the scenic highway.
Up by Cachuma Lake.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's just beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful.
You live up here?
I live in Santa Maria, but I work in paradise every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now we're inside the museum, and John, obviously your museum specializes in something very near and dear to the hearts of the people who would live here in Santa Ynez.
Right, we're very horse-oriented.
And you've got the saddles to prove it.
We've got saddles, we've got chaps, we've got the branding irons.
Oh my gosh, and some of these look very old.
Some of them are very old. We have the slick fork saddles, we have the big swell saddles, the high back cannels. They came in all different shapes and sizes, kind of like your automobiles.
Branding irons, are these some of them from local ranches?
These are all locals, and they're branded on a patch of leather, and then the leather is registered in Santa Barbara County, so everybody's brand was registered.
And look over here, this is very interesting over here. I was looking over your shoulder. You've got a whole collection of bits and spurs.
Spurs, bridles. It shows the different styles, and some of these styles are still used today.
Look at the bridles over here. These are wonderful. These are silver?
Silver.
And how old would these things be?
Rawhide reins. They range from the turn of the century.
And
up
over
to
here,
horsehair.
we have the spurs.
The spurs, we even go back to conquistador spurs. You can see how aggressive they are.
Where do you get these things?
This collection was started in 1961. That's when the museum started off. So
and local people just donated it?
Yes. They see the collection that we have, and then they want to donate to it. And then we get the collection that we do. In the Mission era, we have Ortega trunks. Over here we have a collection of braided rawhide.
Of what?
This is braided rawhide. Okay, these are quirts or whips. These are hobbles. When you were out in the backcountry with your horse and you didn't want your horse to go too far, you took these hobbles and put them on his front legs. That way he could only take small steps. He wouldn't wander too far off.
Wow, and look at the rope you've got
Yeah,
here.
the riatas, the bosals, the horsehair ropes.
You've got it all documented right here.
Yes, yes we do.
Now this is the exhibit room that I have been in before for a quick tour, but it is certainly worth a return visit because you have one of the greatest collections of carriages and stagecoaches anywhere in California, maybe even in the country.
We're considered one of the best collections of American-made carriages, mainly because of the stagecoaches. In here we have 4 stagecoaches.
And there's one of them right there. Boy, this is a primo stagecoach right
This is your typical stage, red body, yellow undercarriage, riding on leather suspension. The leather acted as a shock absorber for the horses as well as the passengers.
And you have this...
The cowhide.
Cowhide on the side of it.
Right, the cowhide's on the side.
Now, was this just something fancy?
That was normally not like that. That was redone. Normally it would be a tanned hide. It would be like the one in the rear.
And this was used for what? Passengers? For...
mail, freight, and passengers. All the stagecoaches carried mail, freight, and passengers.
So how many passengers?
They
1,
fit
2,
as
3,
many
4,
as they
5,
could.
6?
They figured there would be 6 inside the cab, more up on top facing out the front, and then they sat up with the driver as well.
So you would actually pay to ride up on the top, bouncing around up there?
Well, it might be nicer. You figure inside, enclosed with other people that maybe have not done much bathing in the last month or so, it may be nicer to ride outside the stage.
Now this really is a wonderful collection here. You have a little bit of everything.
Yeah, in here we've got 35 carriages ranging from pony carts to the stagecoaches. We've got draft horse harness, we've got silver saddles, we have A to Z.
Look at this over here. You've covered a little bit of everything in this exhibit too.
We try and cover it all. We bring the school kids through on tours. We had a group of 28 this morning. It's nice to get the school kids in. When I went to school, we got to see the westerns in the movies. Today's children don't get to see the westerns. It's not there. It's all video games and all. Here we relate to the children how to measure a horse. I bet you don't know how to measure a horse.
How do you measure a horse? Here's a horse right here.
Here's a horse. What you do is a horse is measured by hands. 4 fingers equals a hand or 4 inches. And you measure to the withers. Where the back meets the neck, there's a bump right here. This is considered the withers. So this horse will stand 15 hands to the withers.
So that's what you would say, I have a horse that's 15 hands to the withers?
Right, or 15-2 if he were 15 hand 2 fingers.
Wow. See,
or
that's
60 inches.
That's
See,
a forgotten...
That's a little thing that people forget. And the kids never learn.
Yeah.
You know, and to get the kids in and show them how the wagons work, how the saddles work, this is a bygone era. And it's not that long ago. We think of the stagecoaches as running 200 years ago. But the stagecoaches ran into the teens and 20s.
This is the jail.
This is our jail. And if you look at these boards on the outside, they're going up and down. Inside boards are going crossways. It's double boarded.
Now, was this really a jail?
This is our local jail right here in town.
Until when?
Well, it was used as a clubhouse for a long time. For kids used it as a clubhouse. But it was used up into, I think, 1910.
Oh, look.
And then inside...
So this is the way the jail really would have been in here.
And here we have the leg irons.
Oh my God.
So you couldn't go too far.
Look at this.
You wouldn't want to spend too much time in here.
And there's obviously a prisoner who got life.
That's Louis, isn't it?
Look at him. Now we're ending up our tour of Santa Ynez. John, you've brought us literally to the end of town.
Yeah, you can't go much farther than here. From here you can see the oaks, the cattle.
Look at
it's all
this
open
oak tree.
range from here to Highway 154 up to the mountains.
So you all have done a real good job of zoning, of not letting growth get out of control.
Right. We're not a San Fernando Valley. We're controlling it by large parcels like this here.
Yeah.
The cattle owners. We've got the oak trees, Figueroa Mountain in the background.
Boy, this is beautiful.
This is the end of town.
And here's the end of town right here. Now, these are not old. These were meant to look old.
Right. These buildings were built in the 60s to look old with the old false fronts.
And it's no accident that you have brought us here, Howdy, that you have brought us here to the Maverick Saloon.
Right.
Because...
This is our watering hole. This is where the locals go, maybe have a cold beer. So I figured it was a hot day, you might need a cold beer. So I thought I'd bring you down here.
Locals maybe have a cold beer or have a cold beer.
This is where they have a cold beer.
And look, here's the sign right here. Ladies, welcome. And here they are right here. Here are the ladies. Now, we've met you all. You all work at the museum.
That's right.
Well, what are you doing down here at the Maverick?
Well, we just thought we'd come down. It's a nice warm day and get it.
And do what?
Get a tall, cool one.
Big lemonade.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay, we're inside, and the locals have begun to come in. Here's one of them right here.
The locals are here.
Yeah. Is this the end of the day crowd beginning to gather here?
No, this is just a place to be.
Uh-huh.
See, it don't make no never mind.
And what do you all talk about when you come in here every
First
day?
thing comes up.
We tell a lot of lies.
And how long has this been going on in Santa Ynez?
Oh, Lord, 40, 50 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here at this place?
Yeah.
So this is the place to come if you want to hear the...
Well, you want to hear virtually everything that's going on in the community and all the good things that happen here.
Mm-hmm.
And all the bad things that happen there.
Howdy, Jewel Hauser.
How you doing?
Everybody's getting busted walking in the bar this afternoon.
Now, I wasn't here. Say something smart.
This is great. This is great.
See, I told you we had to go to the watering hole.
Yeah.
And they've opened up this room over here for you to look at, see what happens on Friday and Saturday nights.
Oh my gosh. Oh, look.
Hey, there we have the line dancing, everything.
So this
bands
place
up there.
is packed.
This place hops on Friday and Saturday nights.
Oh my gosh. Ladies, you ever been dancing in here?
Absolutely. A little line dance going on. They have private parties as well as the regular lessons. Sometimes lessons teach us how to dance better.
Yeah, you know what? We've had a lot of fun in here. But you look through there, that's the Old West.
That's it. It's been there for a long time. And people have been coming for years.
Let's just take one little look.
Get those guys. Those are the real guys.
Yeah, come on in. Let's just take a little look. There they are right there. Take it easy, fellas and ladies. We're on our way. We've got one more stop to go on this road trip. And then we may be back to join you later. Okay, last stop. We are leaving Santa Ynez. We're getting back on Highway 154, and look at this scenery out of the side of the car. This is another example of why this whole area is a scenic highway. We're heading to Los Olivos. The sign says it's 5 miles straight ahead. Okay, we have arrived in Los Olivos, and here to welcome us was this group of local citizens here. Are y'all born and raised here?
Yeah.
What's it like to live in Los Olivos?
Hot.
Well, is it pretty quiet? Is there a lot to do?
Yeah. There's not much to do.
What?
There's not much to do.
Well, is that good or bad?
That's pretty good sometimes.
You kind of just like hanging out here?
Yeah.
Now, is this downtown Los Olivos right here?
Yeah. Kind of, yeah.
This is the whole town right here?
Yeah.
So is there a pizza parlor? Is there a...
No.
Is there a McDonald's?
No.
Is there what is there to do here?
Just go to our country. Art. I don't know.
Art.
A lot of art galleries.
Art galleries, things like wine tasting.
Grown-up stuff.
Yeah. Well, all right. Nice to meet y'all. Wave goodbye to everybody on the camera.
Bye.
These are our welcoming committee. Jim, now here's our official welcoming committee out here. Standing right out dead center in the middle of town. Sorry we're late. We got held up at the Maverick
Well,
in Santa Ynez.
Maverick has been notorious in the valley ever since it began.
What do you mean notorious?
Well, it's, you know, a favorite spot. It's a cool beer place. They have music, and everybody that likes that sort of thing heads for the Maverick.
Well, we had a horrible time there. They forced us to stay there.
Yeah, I'll bet they did.
All right, now we're standing right out in the middle of Los Olivos.
Right.
I've driven through this town before, never stopped and really gotten a feel for it. I got my camera. I want to take some pictures today. Tell us about this, because this is an interesting flagpole right in the middle of town.
Well, what happened at the end of World War I is that most of the little towns in America put up a flagpole in honor of the dead and the veterans. And Los Olivos did likewise. A gentleman named Harvey Stonebarger, who had a shop over under that big oak tree there, was responsible for putting this up. It wasn't as imposing as that in the beginning. It had a Schilling's coffee can at the base.
So it's kind of grown over the years.
Well, what happened is people drove into it, and so they made it imposing enough. If you hit it, you knew it.
But you know what? It's still here, and
Right.
that's an interesting part of the town's history.
All the other towns around have now moved their flagpole out of the middle of town into a museum or someplace close by.
But not in Los Olivos.
Not in Los Olivos.
Because I have a feeling you take your history seriously.
Well,
here.
we try to. Right.
Look at this building right behind you. The Los Olivos Garage, established 1901.
Right, that was established by the Rice brothers in 1901. There really weren't cars in that time. They began a little later. There might have been one over the hill that early, but not a heck of a lot.
So what was this? Was this which way should we walk?
Well, we could walk this way first and come
look
back.
Now I tell you what, I thought it was quiet in Santa Ynez. This is great.
Well, yeah, it's pretty much like this. What happened to Los Olivos is that the railroad came, Pacific Coast Railway, in 1887. This was the end of the railroad. Before that, farmers had dry farm, mainly barley, and barley grew like this, and there was so much barley they really couldn't get it out even with the railroad. It was underpowered. And after that, then things kind of boomed. You drove through Ballard. Because of the railroad ending here, Ballard died. And some of the businesses came here and some came, you were just at Santa Ynez, they moved buildings over there.
So this was traditionally an agricultural town?
Ag and is still agriculture.
Really?
Right.
Because haven't you turned the town into a lot of little shops with artists and, I mean, it's kind of a shopping town now,
Well,
isn't it?
what you're looking at with the new buildings is almost the same number of buildings that were here in 1890.
Really?
So somewhere as imposing as the one to the left across the street, which is new.
So this is a new building, but it's made to look old.
Well, we have an architectural board, and we have a review of the downtown, and we try to keep things so they look that way.
Wow, this is great. And I saw coming into town, the sign said exactly 1,000 people live here.
No one really knows. We could probably go to the census and look at the zip codes and see how many. Those things are guessed based on the school population. Because the school extends from 101 all the way to Ventura County.
Now this is all new here.
This is a new building, and right under the oak tree is where Stonebarger was.
The guy who built the
guy
flagpole.
who built the flagpole. He was also a well driller. And
boy, look at this oak
now
tree.
it's been manicured, but it's saved.
Whoa!
So
this is a beautiful
It is fantastic.
tree.
And you know the poem of the blacksmith under the spreading oak. Why, here's one that's a great example.
So he had his blacksmith shop
right in here.
Now, where else but Los Olivos could you see a horse coming through downtown?
I don't know.
What's this all about?
Well, my daughter had a lesson at 3 in riding, and then we had to rush her over to dance, and so the pony was in the trailer, so I picked her up at dance with her horse.
Wow, so this is your horse.
Yeah.
What's your horse's name?
Felicity.
Now, does Felicity get nervous going through downtown with all this traffic?
No.
Oh, here it says Fess Parker. So he's opened up a...
He's opened a hotel.
Well, that's where, this is where all the rich people stay. Come on, let's look in through the gates. Come on, in, Troy. Hi, how y'all doing? You having a good time? Look, they're having a great time at Fess Parker's, what's it called? Wine Country
Wine
Inn
Country Inn and Spa.
and Spa. Give us a wave. Jim, we're back on the side of Highway 154. We're still in Los Olivos, and everywhere you look, there's still all these beautiful big old oak trees.
Right.
This place is full of oak trees.
Well, the valley was and still is full of oak trees, and so is the county.
Boy, they're beautiful. That is about as pretty of an oak tree as I've ever seen.
The station for the railroad was just to the left of where that tree is, and Mattei built his tavern. It was first a hotel, and this part that you see, the 2-story, is the first part that he did build. He then had a bedroom here on this end, and gradually it's been added to.
Now, this was the old stagecoach stop, just like the Cold Spring Tavern was.
That's correct, right.
And it served as a stagecoach stop for how many years?
From 1886 to 1901.
Wow, that's a beautiful old place. Unfortunately, it's closed today, but it sure gives a sense of history. See, those people have driven up. They think they're going to be able to check in. They're in for a surprise.
There are rooms upstairs, 7 bedrooms, that were originally rented out. That stopped about 30 years ago.
Wow, this place is so full of history. Right. We have spent the day here and really haven't seen hardly anything.
Well, I think you could spend a day actually with Mattei's.
Yeah.
And the stage and railroad history right here.
Yeah, well, we started, you know, at the Lake Cachuma. Yeah. We went to Cold Spring Tavern. We went to the Arch Bridge. We went to Santa Ynez. We ended up here in Los Olivos.
Right.
I mean, you could spend a whole weekend here.
Easily.
And you know, we've been rushing around like crazy all day.
Right. Your face is pretty red. I think you've been out on the lake.
Well, no, that came from spending too much time down in Santa Ynez at, what was the name of that
place? Maverick.
Maverick. I've already blocked it out of my mind.
On the end here is a bar today, and a lot of the locals still do come to Mattei's in the evening, so there is a clientele.
Well, this has certainly been an interesting day. It started early this morning. We have been going non-stop, but we have learned a lot of history. We've met a lot of nice people. We've seen some fascinating places. It all took place right here up and down Highway 154. I hope you've had as much fun as we have. We've spent the day in a beautiful part of Santa Barbara County on a wonderful, wonderful road trip.
Road Trip with Huell Hauser was made possible by the Automobile Club of Southern California and the AAA Travel Agency. We've been meeting members' travel, automotive, insurance, and financial needs since 1900. Over 4.5 million members turn to us for peace of mind and quality service. Find out more about all the ways Auto Club can serve you. 1-800-628-CLUB. The Auto Club. We're always with you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Huell Hauser. And if you enjoyed our road trip up San Marcos Pass on Highway 154 in beautiful Santa Barbara County and would like to see it again or share it with your family and friends, all you have to do is call 1-800-266-5727 and we'll be glad to send it to you right away.